my soul's journey. I'm listening to an audiobook entitled Journey of Souls by Michael Newton, and it's really awe-inspiring and illuminating. I mean, it's up to you what your personal beliefs are, but it talks to me in a compelling way about the soul's journey to life, between lives and across lives. And I personally believe that a cosmic perspective is what gives meaning and insight to life. That if you just look at things in terms of 1 year, 1 decade, 1 century, or 1 lifetime, if you're open to the idea of looking beyond that it makes all the difference. And there's just so much there. But one of the things that he talks about, and he gives like transcripts of interviews from sessions with people that are talking about lives and between lives, is that, we're all here to learn lessons from each other. And I think that just some of the case examples as applied to me and what I believe is my soul's journey in this lifetime has to do with, I think, humility. I've had like a lot of humbling experiences this lifetime, and I think my soul, wanted that, wanted/need to gain greater empathy/compassion. I've always been a kind person, in the sense that I'm soft-hearted, but I haven't always been a humble person. And humility is not always good. Some people are too humble, they have low self-esteem. But I've always been, I wouldn't say arrogant, but I've always had like a high opinion of myself because I know or have felt that I'm good at X, Y, and Z. And I'm a very hard worker, but certain things also come easy to me. And it's been like a series, I wouldn't say of setbacks, because it's been like, progress, but it's been on a psychological and interpersonal level, it's been kind of like almost like feeling like I'm under somebody's thumb, or a lot of people's thumb in life. Like Joyce Meyer, she talks about sandpaper. I think a lot of people, when they get to a certain point in their soul evolution, they attract a lot of, I wouldn't say conflict, but situations that incur humility. For Joyce Meyer, she says that, and I think Joyce is similar, she's a very powerful personality, but a strong personality. And I think that, like I'm a Virgo. Virgos are known for being discerning, which is a good quality, but if it's carried too far, then it becomes judgmentalness, which is not a good quality. Anything can reach the point of diminishing returns. And for Joyce, she said that she attracted a lot of people in her life that were like sandpaper, and those people helped her rub off her right edges. Like my books, I think, have to be also a reflection of my life. Like one person that knows me said that, your books are so beautiful and your life is, not bad, but there's like a disconnect. They're just like the lofty idealism and, almost like poetry in my writing is not like how I normally present in my persona. Not that I'm gruff or, anything like that, but I think that there's different aspects to a person. We have an intellect, we have a heart, we have a soul, and I think that, there's a difference between intellectual knowledge and experiential knowledge. I think that I've always had the intellectual knowledge of like spiritual ideas and things like that, and I've seen a lot of examples of those in the world, but maybe not internalize them, to the core of my being as much as would have been helpful. And I think that humility is an aspect of that. And I think I signed up this lifetime to have a lot of people basically, not appreciate me or be hostile to me even, not as like a martyr or someone that wants to suffer, but as someone that had to realize that my perspective, as much sense as it makes to me, is only one perspective, and that people have free will to which I always thought was crazy. Not crazy, but, kind of unfortunate to just, you could take a great steak and you could just put it in the garbage can, and spit on it and do whatever you want to. I mean, people have free will, and what one person values is not necessarily what another person values. So I think in this life I had a little bit too much of an ego to please mentality. I think I felt good about myself, but I felt not as good about myself if people had a reaction to me which was different or antithetical to the way that I viewed myself. And I think that through a certain amount of experiences, I've learned that your love for yourself has to be so strong that it's unconditional. Your view of yourself has to be so strong. For example, in politics, I do think we have to be responsive to other people, because I think we do have to be open to feedback. I look at Donald Trump and I see a person who just is going to do what he's going to do almost regardless of what anybody else says. I mean, I think that's dangerous to a point, because it's you can violate social norms and you can do a lot of damage, to yourself and other people. But I think there's a kernel within it that is healthy, if not carried too far, in terms of not having your self-esteem dependent upon the viewpoints of others. And if other people don't recognize you, there's a lot of people that have done great things in life, but they were not recognized until afterwards. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so you can't always say what is relevant from one person to the next. So I guess this is all just a long way of saying that things have meaning in and of themselves, but also what we ascribe to it. And you can know something intellectually, but when you really live it out in the world is when it becomes impactful to you. And I think for me, humility is in the positive sense, is because humility leads to gratitude, appreciation, and other fruits of the Spirit. Has been a blessing for me that has been hard earned and not pleasant, but still appreciated.